Hey everyone, it's Mari Clarke here with another episode of Art Party Friday for the Crafty Maven Getaway. And I'm working in my art journal today, and it's the Large Dilutions Art Journal. And I'm using the inspiration that Hannah provided us with this week to create a fall layout in my journal. So the inspiration the inspiration parts that I'm really focusing on are the colors more than anything. And well, I suppose also the idea that it is fall, obviously, as well. And so I'm just sketching out a little picture here of a fox. And I'm just going to be doing some whimsical kind of sketching and collage work on this layout today just to create the work that you'll see when it's all finished. So what I did was I did put down some gesso, and I just wanted to prime that paper so that I could use a variety of different products on there. And what I'm putting down right now is a bit of crackle medium, and I believe I think it's Prima, perhaps a Prima product, and I'm just putting it on there fairly liberally. And it says on the container that it doesn't crackle quite as nicely if you use your heat tool on it, or at least the cracks are more fine. But just for the interest of getting this layout done up and ready to go here for my video, I decided that I'd just take one for the team here and go ahead with drawing it and using the small crackles. So I don't know, it ends up looking okay anyways, and you can see that the cracks are quite fine. Perhaps you can see in the close-ups of the still shots at the end. So I'm just using a little bit of gouache here, and what I did was I just mixed a little bit of the blue gouache with some white, I didn't want it to be too dark, and I'm using that just with some water, and I'm just putting it on there quite lightly, and I want it to look like it's the sky behind my little fox there. And I really love the texture that crackle medium provides on the layout. It just, it adds just a really nice base and texture to start to build on top of. And that's a really fun thing about when you're working in your art journal. You can just layer it up with as many things as you want, and it's kind of fun. I've had people ask me before, well, why do you end up covering that stuff up? Well, the thing is with art journaling or working with mixed media that I've found in the past is I don't always necessarily really have a clear plan when I start out. I just kind of let it evolve as I go. And sometimes things just do get covered up. It's just the way that it goes. So I'm working with some Neo colors here, which is a watercolor product or a water-based product. And I just really love working with them. They're really versatile, and they're a lot of fun to work with. So I'm just gonna give my little fox there a little bit of color, and I'm just using a couple different colors of orange and just kind of blending them together, and just kind of flicking my brush a little bit so that it almost looks like the fur of the fox, just to create a little bit of texture on the fox's fur there a little bit. So all I did to create that fox was I just took a pencil, a drawing pencil, and I just drew him down there, and then I'm just coloring him in a little bit. So I'm just going to use a variety of different Neo colors just to create some color and some detail with my little fox there. So I'm just going to work on that for a little bit. You'll see me working away, creating the color for the fox. So this was a lot of fun. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, if I wanted to do leaves or if I wanted to do, something that was more along the lines of what was in the inspiration piece there. But then, you know what? I've seen a lot of little fox ephemera pieces, die cuts, and foxes and pattern paper and all that kind of stuff, and I thought, oh, it'd be kind of fun to do a little fox in this layout. I don't know, foxes aren't really necessarily fall critters, but they're definitely fall colors. So I guess that's why we see so many of those little ephemera pieces and so on as a fox in the fall collections that we see. Anyway, so I'm going to use these mixed media brushes just to blend out that Neo color, and I'm not using much water at all. You don't really need a lot of water, and or at least for the technique that I'm doing here, it's better just to use sort of a small amount. And you can even use a dry brush if you want on the Neo colors to blend them a little bit once you've got them down, or to create layers. And you don't really want to, if you're going over your Neo colors with a different color, so you've already got your color base and you want to go over it with another color, if you use water on that, it's going to actually reactivate the colors underneath. So just want to be really careful with that, and just remember how your products are going to react if you're using something that's not a permanent medium. So I just wanted to add a little bit of black here too, just so you can see the edges of the little fox and where his little body parts, his tail and his little leg there that's tucked in behind, and so on, begin and end. Now I'm just going to take more of the gouache, and I think that I mixed the green color that I have in my gouache paints with a little bit of white. Now you can see that I have taped that center of my journal, and I just used a little bit of micro pour tape down the center of it, because it actually, your products will actually leak through onto the other pages, and I've had that happen. So I've started to just, you can use washi tape if you've got a washi tape that's kind of more just a neutral, or maybe even want it to be part of the layout that you're creating, which would be kind of cool too. I actually just used a white micro pour tape so that it just takes on the medium as I'm working on it, which is really nice, and I really like that tape. It's actually a really great supply to have in your art supplies. So I just wanted to create the idea or the sense that there was a sky and a grassy background, and now I'm just taking some brown gouache just with my finger, and I'm just putting that on there just to create sort of like a brown ground, and I'm going to add a little bit of grassy wisps here and there with another one of the brushes that I have in my stash. So I think I do that next, but I can't really remember for sure here. It's going to dry up that brown a little bit so that I don't want to work wet on wet here or anything like that. So I'm just going to get that dried up a little bit. And I'm sorry this video is a little bit longer. I did try to speed it up as much as I could, and I did some things off camera that I could just sort of talk about that I did, so that it wouldn't be quite as long. So anyways, that's the grass, the little bits of grass that I created there. So those will just kind of blend in as you see the layout kind of evolving and changing here. So I'm just going to dry that a little bit because I don't want to smear that around, and just going to take and kind of start to work on that little branch that's coming up. I'm working with a brown Neo color there, and I'm actually going to I think when I'm done this, I'm going to start working on my collage pieces. And actually what I did was I had gone to a garage sale that was like a craft warehouse garage sale this summer, and they had pattern paper for 20 cents a piece of paper, and I ended up getting a whole bunch of Halloween and fall papers, which are really perfect for this kind of thing that I'm doing here. So I took some of those fall papers. This one had a whole bunch of little leaves on it, and I just drew some leaves and just fussy cut them out of that paper. You can see I'm just drawing one more there, and I just so now I'm just going to create kind of the collage effect with those pieces. And I think I stick them down off camera just to speed up the process here, but all I do is I just take some gel medium and I just stick those down. And now I'm just going to take a little bit of, I'm just going to take my pencil and I'm going to draw a few little bits and pieces, a few little details around here. And I just want to recognize Tamara Laporte here, because she is just such an amazing mixed media artist, and I'm actually taking, I'm doing some online classes through her, and just really, really love the inspiration she provides. And so I just did a little bit of her, I just did some of the little drawings that she typically might do, or something like it, on on mine there with those little things that are hanging there. So you'll see that as I make those a little bit darker as I go here. So I'm just continuing to add a few more little collage bits and pieces. These ones are some tissue paper, and I think one of the pieces actually ends up coming off of there when I go in and start rolling on some heavy gesso. So I'm just going to put those around, and I think then you'll see me, yeah, I'm just going to put down little bits of gesso here and there. And I really love this technique because what it does is it just mutes out what you have a little bit, just mutes it a bit. And that just rolling that gesso around with a brayer. So you'd have to put quite a bit of pressure on that, but it actually just creates a really cool effect. And then you can start, you can just continue to layer on top of there. And the nice thing about that gesso is now that's going to be anything that you put on top of that's going to be, it'll be more of a permanent base there. So yeah, I really like that idea. And so once I did that, I decided that I wanted to take my texture paste and add a little more texture on top of my little fox, because I didn't want to go over him too much with the gesso because I didn't want to mute him out too much because he is kind of the focal point. So I just wanted to take this really cool stencil, and I just want to add a little bit of texture and some words on top of the little fox there. So I didn't add any color to my texture paste. I just tried to add just the white so that it's subtle, but yet it just adds that texture on there, which is really neat. So then I just take my Pitt pens and I'm just going to add a little bit of detail here and there. And you can also see that I took an alphabet stencil and I added a little bit of dark blue ink using that alphabet stencil here and there on the layout as well. So still just working with my Pitt pens, adding a bit of shading and a little bit of color detail just to bring those leaves back a little bit. And then I'm just taking some strips of paper that actually had a little bit of a fall saying on it and a little fall sentiment. And I'm going to just cut that up and put it, I'm just going to try to decide where I want that on the layout. And I ended up putting it over onto the right side and just putting that down there as the sentiment for the layout, which is about fall. So I really had fun creating this layout. I'm not gonna lie, it took me a while. I'm not really sure how long, but I find that my art journaling does tend to take a bit of time, but it is so much fun, and it does take me a little bit longer than when I scrapbook, but when I'm done, it's totally worth it, and it is just a whole lot of fun in my craft room when I get out all the paints and medium to go ahead and create some kind of a neat creation for my art journal. So I'm just going to put on some little bits that are kind of shiny and add just a little bit of shine to the layout just to kind of finish it off. And then I'm of course going to add some splatters, and I think I water down some black acrylic paint, and of course I have to put some Heidi Swapp color shine on there as well. And I think I do maybe some blue, and I think I do some gold on here too, because you can never have too much Heidi Swapp gold color shine on anything. And this layout is almost done. So thank you so much for watching and sticking with the video today if you watched it all the way through to the end. And Art Party Friday is here absolutely every Friday on the Crafty Maven Getaway, and you can see a lot of really cool and fun stuff that's a little bit more artsy than the scrapbooking days. So try it and join us again tomorrow for Saturday, and come back every day of the week and see a new video here on the Crafty Maven Getaway. And you can join me on my channel, which is just Mari Clarke on YouTube. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.